Hello, and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Not the Dreadnought Improvement Project, and not a campaign. We're back on vanilla now because I've got a new gaming PC set up, and I've reinstalled the game, but I've yet to reinstall the Dreadnought Improvement Project mod. Don't worry, it's coming, and the next campaign will be using that mod. Exactly when that is, I'm not exactly sure. Apparently, there's a new version of the mod coming out in the near future, so I kind of want to wait for that instead of maybe playing a bit and figuring out that there are some bugs here that I would have liked to have fixed, and then maybe the new version of the mod wrecks my campaign or something. I don't know. So I'm just gonna save it and wait for a little bit. So this is first of all kind of intended to be a stress test. It's a pretty big battle. I've designed my ships already. This is take two because well, I also had had some gift cards for a local electronics supply store, and they didn't really have any of the computer parts I wanted, but I didn't find anywhere else to spend my gift cards, so I went there and I got a new microphone. So apparently I needed to like fix some settings and stuff because the audio in the first take was not very good. Hopefully it's better now. If it isn't, well, you're not going to be seeing this anyway. So yeah. Ship designs. They're kind of the standard vanilla Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts things. German, so maxed out on resistance with Citadel 4. And also, I want to do some comparisons between vanilla and the Dreadnought Improvement Project. Mostly, of course, I think dip is better, but there are a couple of areas where I think vanilla might edge it out. One of the areas where dip is definitely better is, yeah, maxing out resistance. If you have a hull with a base resistance of around 100, you can get, if you like stack, and this isn't even fully stacked, I didn't even max out the anti-torp. You can get your resistance to more than 192, you can see here, which gives you minus 100% gun damage. Now, there might be some rounding errors here. In fact, I think I will, just to be sure, gonna bump it up a little bit more. And I wanna drop down the armor, because I probably won't be needing it anyway. Right? There we go. Not even that lightly armored, but if it is indeed minus 100% gun damage, well, who needs armor? This was a problem before in patch 1.6 point something, and I made a video about it and tried to convince the developers back when they were still developing the game that, hey, this is a problem. And Nick, if you're familiar with that character, was like, no, it's not true. That's not how it works. And my video show that, yeah, clearly this is how it works. You get minus 100% gun damage if you bump your resistance up high enough, which you can do with some hulls, especially the German ones that have very high resistance, like the two super battleships, and I think some battle cruisers as well. So they did fix it in a patch. Credit to them. But then 1.7 rolled out and it was broken again. And this is the last patch ever, so it will remain broken. Now let's launch. Okay, loading that up did not take too long. Now let's see how this runs. Let's see, get my try and get my stuff a little bit organized. You can follow those, you can follow actually you two need to follow those, or it's just gonna be pure chaos. These heavy cruisers here that may or may not be invulnerable, we're gonna find out. Maybe I want them to not be the ones taking all the fire still. Light cruisers. And my DDs are all like intermixed. Okay, so we're gonna split these two up. You're gonna join that division, you're gonna join that division. There we go. We now have 2 squadrons of 4. Just the way I like it. So, yeah. Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts being the game that it is, I am cranking out an impressive 25 FPS. So yeah, not a huge difference in terms of like game performance. That is just how this game is not optimized. It might be a little bit better, I don't know. Hard to make like a direct comparison. So, comparisons between vanilla and dip. First of all, in patch 1.6 something, vanilla, they reduced the amount of ammo you carry per gun. So these 17-inch guns here used to have like 220 rounds per barrel in vanilla back in the day, but they reduced it down to 110. You can increase that with increased ammo, and now you have to, like there's it's almost mandatory to have increased ammunition in vanilla at this point. But even so, with increased ammunition, you now carry less than you used to do with reduced ammunition back in the day. Dip has thankfully reversed that dumb decision and brought ammunition loadouts back to what it used to be. That and most of the hulls have been rebalanced, so you can no longer achieve like invulnerability in your if you max out the resistance. What I was trying to say. But one point where I think vanilla might edge out dip, at least in my opinion, is the AI battle behavior. I think dip is a little bit too aggressive. Now there's a reason for that. Because you used to, in the campaign, get what we called ghost battles, where the game would the quote-unquote matchmaker would give you a battle, maybe with a an enemy destroyer, and it would just run away at the start of the battle. And even if you had some ships that were faster than it, it would take forever to chase it down, because you might only have a couple knots of speed advantage. So that sucked badly. So that's why the dip AI was made very aggressive. But the developers of the game actually fixed that in... Again, I forget exactly which patch. But they made it so that if you now get a battle in the campaign, the enemy will not run away. If the enemy thinks they are at a disadvantage, they're going to try and withdraw, and thus you will not get a battle. That means your task force can get a battle with another enemy task force, instead of maybe that lone single destroyer. But that can still happen though, but in that case it will not run away, it will actually come and fight you. But, and here's like where the difference is between the current vanilla AI and the dip AI. As you might have seen a couple of times in my Norwegian campaign, the AI in dip just runs everything straight at you. Like, no matter what kind of range they have on their main guns or anything, they're just gonna come straight at you. Into a bunch of torpedoes and guns and whatnot. And I think the vanilla AI is actually a little bit better in that regard. Like, you can see the battleships here in the back trying to form a firing line, kind of like what I'm doing here, while the cruisers are running in close. That's going to make it a little bit tricky for me to get to the battleships with my destroyers, because I kind of have to circumvent all the cruisers. So that's like one of the areas where I think vanilla might have an edge over dip. Another thing is, let's see if this works. If I take the first squadron of battleships here, and I reduce their speed down to cruising speed, will the squadrons that follow automatically adjust? Because they should. If that is how it is supposed to work. I'm getting between 15 and 20 FPS now that we're firing. So I want to see if I get any deck hits. Last time I tried this recording, where I had my mic settings all wrong, I tried to look for deck hits because I wondered if that was just a dip thing, that I was not getting any deck hits at all during my Norwegian campaign. But it seems that is just how the game is. Now let's see if we can score some torpedo hits with these guys. Gonna smoke up. Gonna engage the cruisers here actually, rather than the battleships. The next squadron can take and try and like get around to the battleships. Let's see here, do we have torpedo launch? There we go. They're all launching. And also, one area where dip is clearly superior is like ship design. This is not bad. That's a lot of armor, but the like armor distribution is not that thought out. It's like between 7 and 8 inches. Most places. So they could have gone for a heavier main belt. In vanilla, you're not limited to 8 inches. And maybe lighter on the 4.5 belts, but that's decent armor all around. In my previous attempt at a recording, they had some battleships that had like absolutely no armor. These are decent. These are actually not bad for vanilla designs. So, yeah. Typical, right? I was going to show you how bad the AI design are in vanilla, especially with regards to armor. And they actually give me some ships that are not bad. Here you can see, if we can get some 17-inch hits on these cruisers of mine. Because the damage they are taking is very, very minor. Like the hits taken don't even register on the event log. Like they're taking hits at this moment. But because the damage is like 0.01, stuff like that, it doesn't even register in the log. See if I can get the enemy battleships to shoot at my cruisers, because yeah, these things, they do seem pretty invulnerable, don't they? It's a bit of a problem. FPS is dropping down into the single digits. We're at like 5, 7. But of course, minus 100% gun damage does not mean minus 100% torpedo damage. So my cruisers do take some torpedo hits here. Let's see if I can have them engage the enemy destroyers. The enemy cruiser screen has been dealt with. Yeah, I can call this a stress test, okay, alright. We're into... Go on. There we go. Yeah, we're into slideshow territory now. But I was kind of impressed by how quickly the game generated the enemy fleet. That did not take long at all. Admiral Shear has taken some flooding, so they're not immune to flooding. They're not filled with magic foam. They're just made out of magic steel. Let's see, bring these in towards the enemy battleships. Quite far away. And these that launched have already rearmed. That was quick. I think it's time to select some main gun targets here for my battleships. Helgoland and Karl the Great can keep targeting that cruiser. They're right at the edge of my my main gun range. That's fine. But as you can see, the speed settings that was giving me so much trouble in my Norwegian campaign, but that seems to actually have been an issue with dip, because here it actually works perfect. They're keeping their formation. Even these guys are taking all the damage because I forgot about them because I was yapping about something else. They're not taking much damage, as you can see. They're taking damage from torpedoes. They are taking crew damage. Let me split the fire a little bit so they're not all targeting the same ships. But they are taking a lot of fire from 17-inch guns. Comet, have you taken a lot of 17-inch gun damage? No. You've taken a lot of hits from 17s. But the damage is like, yo, you've taken 50 damage. Out of 85 hits. How about you, Limburg? We've taken 2 hits for a grand total of 0.4 damage. Yeah. So, it might not be exactly minus 100% damage from guns, but it's darn close. When you take less than 1 damage from multiple hits by 17-inch guns, you can see Comet here getting showered in 17-inch armor piercing, and it's like not doing anything. That's a bit of a problem. Also, check out the max elevation on my turrets. Taking those guns straight through the turret roof. And even so, let's see, are we like scoring any deck hits? Belt, tower. How about you? Belts, towers, funnels, torpedoes. No deck hits. No deck hits. How about you? You're targeting battleships at very, very long range. You're not scoring hits on the deck. Laurel Hardy. Huh, okay. I missed the slapstick when they sank. Poor cruisers, I kind of just forget about them and they keep getting hit by torpedoes. But at least the enemy guns aren't doing anything to them. So, yeah, carry on. looking for deck hits that my battleships may be inflicting on the enemy battleships. But that seems to not be the case. So, I wonder, is that some... So that's clearly not a dip issue I was having in my Norwegian campaign. That I was just never scoring any deck hits. This is just a base game problem. But I wonder, is this something that can be fixed in dip? Can you like increase the chance of decks being hit? My cruisers have dealt with the enemy destroyer threat. Seems like. Need to speed my battleships up and catch up with the enemy battleships. So, Division 3 leading the line. They're speeding up. Division 2 following, also accelerating. Division 3 in the back. They're waiting for Division 2 to accelerate, but yeah, they are also accelerating. So that at least seems to be working as intended. I'm not sure why that works in vanilla, but in dip you get all kinds of problems when you try to reduce the speed of a leading division, and even the ships within the division start bumping into one another. And like, if you have any divisions following, just forget about it. You just end up with pure chaos. So I don't know why that is not working as smoothly in dip as it is in vanilla. But you can see here, it is clearly working. Simply reduce the speed of the leading division. Oh, keep turning. And they're all dropping speed. Never mind catching up with the enemy battleships. This is more exciting. They're all dropping speed. Division 2 also now starting to reduce speed when the ships in front are slowing down. Oldenburg reducing. Then King Albert, König Albert, excuse me. Then Barbarossa. And then Baden and Kaiserin also starts to reduce speed. Excellent, that's what I like to see. I can speed up again. Now, how about my immortal heavy cruisers? .002 damage taken. Ah, even taking some double-digit damage here. Or is that just all the damage taken combined, added together? Yeah, I think it is. Never mind. You've taken 260 hits from enemy 17-inch guns. Battleship caliber AP guns. Which, combined, have done like 250 damage. Which isn't much. It's not zero. Though there is a rounding error with the allegedly minus 100% gun damage. It's not actually minus 100%. But it might as well be. battleships are going to be out of ammo before my cruisers have sunk. How about my my destroyers? They are approaching unscathed because the cruisers are taking all the aggro. Can't do this in depth. These ships would all have sunk long ago. And then the enemy would be focused on my destroyers, because those would have been the closest ships. We're up to 14 FPS. You can see there's a lot of shooting going on. Let's have my cruisers target the battleships. Why not? See if my cruisers can out-damage the enemy battleships. Maybe not, because these are actually very chunkily armored battleships. Or an aft belt that should be able to shrug off hits from my 11-inch guns, which are also very soon out of ammo. Oh, yeah. So the magic foam-filled British ships, apparently also not a dip problem. This is vanilla, and as you can see, British battleships, even the ones that have taken a bit of damage, they don't flood. Benbow here, almost nothing left over, but not a drop of water made it inside of the ship. It kind of ruins my plan of catching up to the battleships by flooding their extended belts, cruiser heads. Means you can just go back to targeting Benbow. Yeah, they're doing 0.05 damage to me with their 17-inch guns. I'm doing a lot more to them with my 11s. .3 damage. Gotta be a new record. Two damage from 3 hits. Yeah, we're gonna sink the Benbow before this huge line of battleships been able to sink my cruisers. Although I think Comet is gonna surrender soon. While the shells might not do much damage as they just phase through the entire hull, they are knocking out some crew. Oh, we're out of ammo now. Segments, you are angled over, you can't fire. Chair as well. But detach you. Oh. Of course. Turned on this, like, change positions by default. There you go, you can fire now. If my destroyers can catch up with the enemy battleships, will they be able to inflict some flooding with their torpedoes? Probably not. It's this guy Even with only 8% left of the entire hull. No water. It's made it inside. Now we're taking 17-inch fire from my guns. I should just turn these around because they're just chasing the enemy battleships away. There we go. One down due to structural damage. Looks like the enemy line is turning. Comet and Limburg are completely out of ammo. Limburg is almost intact. Almost completely intact. My battleships have, and most of them haven't even taken any hits. Because the enemy has been so focused on my, my cruisers that are invulnerable. Enemy cruiser squadron. Wow, they've got pretty good range. Why are they not targeting my my destroyers? That's what I would like to know. Is this when I'm gonna start losing DDs? Perhaps. Will I even get my torpedoes off at this range and angle? Yes. Nice. And now my battleships are closing in on the enemy battleships, which are no longer kiting away from my unkillable cruisers. D1 took a hit. These are not invulnerable. But the torpedoes are seemingly on course. Now, do I have enough ammo left to fight these ships? Maybe not. That might be a challenge. Now, with all the fireworks having slowed down a bit, we are up to 35 FPS, almost 40. which feels a lot more playable. Your target. Your target. Your target. Your target. Your target. Your target. And your target. Torpedoes have arrived. Are we gonna get any hits here? I think Redoubtable is gonna take one. Swiftsure took two. Venerable. There we go. Good hit. And it's even flooding. It is even flooding. So they're not entirely immune to flooding. I think they just have a very, very high floatability. That might be the magic foam. Yeah, I think Venerable is going to sink. And she's got anti-torp 5, double bottom, only Citadel 3. If my big 17-inch guns can first of all, I still want to look for deck hits, but it does seem like deck hits are just not a thing. Maybe it never was. Pretty sure I can remember having hit a ship on the deck at least one time in the past. But maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it's just not a thing in the game. But it should be. The Neptune. Nothing on the deck. Venerable only want to be have taken any flooding. Nothing on the deck. That basically means that don't bother putting armor on your deck. It doesn't matter. It never takes a hit. Now, can I sink these guys before running out of ammo? The two in the back have plenty of ammo left. Mostly HE though. They've been making good use of their AP. See, Helgoland is taking a little bit of flooding. Slow down to 26.6 knots. There we go. You have to wiggle this sometimes to get it to update. But that's perfect. Good speed for them to be sailing. In fact, cruising speed is 24.7. There we go. What just happened to you, Swiftsure? Main bow. 10. 6,000 damage. And one for 5.5. Really good salvo. I think we might be able to sink all the battleships. Maybe have enough ammo left for the cruisers. There goes Victorious. That means only Warspite is left. Let's start switching to these cruisers already. Just have Baden and Kaiserin deal with Warspite. And Barham! I forgot about you. Come here. Big damage. Worth being out of HE once they're done with there we go, Ariadne. They're gonna switch to Warspite. And HE might just be the choice of ammo here if the ship isn't gonna flood anyway. Yeah, belts, belts, and belts. No deck hits. Ooh. What just happened to you, Barham? That's a lot of main belt pens. Look away for a split second and my battleships have just deleted an enemy battleship. Yeah. Let me not forget I need a thumbnail. It might just be a custom battle. But we're gonna have a thumbnail. Maybe with the main gun sticking through the turret roof. Just to show you that that's how life is in vanilla. This won't take long now. Terrible is going down. Amphitrite won't last long. There we go. Was that the last one? Or yeah, that was the last one. No need to chase down any survivors. Good. No ships lost. Although by all rights, I should have lost at least 4 cruisers. Let me see. How much damage did these ships take? 5,500 damage. But most of that was from torpedoes. As you can see, the gun hits on Seedlitz, it did next to nothing. Same with Comet. Took some damage from his own torpedoes. Took over 1,000 damage from 17-inch guns, but that is also from 1,132 hits. Doing, on average, less than 1 damage per hit. That is some vanilla shenanigans right there. And as you can see, while the enemy battleships might be very reluctant to flood, well, they still took plenty of damage from my big guns that were the same caliber actually. 17s. Yeah. So that was just a little bit of vanilla warm up. I hope sound levels and stuff was good. I hope the new microphone isn't picking up too much like background noise from my computer fans and stuff like that. Because I know the old one was. I tried to prevent that, but it just I couldn't find a way. So hopefully this is a little bit better. And I will put a poll in my like YouTube channel. What's it called? Like a community page or something? A little thing where I can post like updates and whatnot. I can add a poll there for which nation to play as next in my next campaign. I know France and Britain will be two of the options. Because I don't think I've ever played a French campaign actually. And the last British campaign I played was way back. That was, might have been before even the entire world map was added to the game. So quite a long time ago. And other options, I guess the Ottoman Empire, if I'm playing Dip, that would be an option. That would be fun. We'll see. Goodbye, and take care.